Hello there, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of the Soulver Weekly Forecast. We have had some very interesting news come up recently. Within the last, you reckon 5-6 days, there has been a lot of reports about UFO or UAP sightings, and they've come out with lots of reports. They haven't reported any evidence that they are aliens or they are official UAPs, UFOs. But we've also had a lot of people write in, do they live underwater? Where do they come from? So I thought we can have a look into that today, see what the cards will tell us.
Absolutely. And
if it's legit or not.
It is pretty exciting, actually, that we did mention going back probably maybe 8 months to a year ago that this time frame, end of this year, early next year, there will be disclosure with the ETs, and that's certainly happening. And I think the Congress in America are actually debating it at the moment.
They are, yes.
And they're saying, the officials are saying, there's probably about 21 cases that need to be investigated. Of course, there's thousands and thousands of cases, and plenty of eyewitness reports, and more shows popping up on Netflix and places like that about encounters. So it's just interesting how it's all kind of in your face at the moment.
It's like they're getting us ready, maybe.
maybe preparing the ground.
Yes.
All right, so what we're asking about today is, where do our off-world or interdimensional friends come from, and do they indeed live underwater?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure some of them do. It would be a very good hiding place if you didn't want to be noticed, wouldn't it?
I do remember a few Soulvers ago we talked about these black balls that were underwater that you could be able to breathe. So that's something that just came up for me just then.
Yes,
it's people living.
It's living under the water in these little black places, which of course inside they're probably not black, but on the outside they are. So here we have the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and what this tells me is that we're moving very swiftly towards disclosure.
Awesome.
And so in saying that, I mean, obviously those people out there who believe in this, who, have been involved in this for quite some time, would all go, yeah, we already know it's there. We know who's out there. We know the types of ETs that are around the place, etc. And then there'd be the others like show me proof.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that we're reaching the pinnacle now where there will actually be investigations and there will be proof given. And I think they'll even disclose things like, there's been multiple crashes, and that's due to the fact that our military have shot a few down. And there's also been multiple sightings as well over the years of just ordinary people. So I think those sorts of stories are going to come out a lot more.
Yeah.
And you'll see them on the mainstream. So, so the first card down is gossip. And when we come around the Page of Swords, it's like, everyone's talking about the subject. Everyone's gossiping about it and what's going to happen and,
what's the truth?
What's the truth? So apparently in Brazil, overnight, there was multiple UAPs in the sky, and it was actually a news forecast that were out. They were doing a story, and there were just literally hundreds of them.
Wow.
Everywhere. And they were filming this. And this was, of course, on social media. And so this is the thing, around the world, we're going to get everyone talking about this. It's not just a Channel 9 News tells you, so it's true. It's going to be on every platform, and it's just going to grow exponentially. And they have been talking quite some time now about something called Project Bluebeam, which is that they're going to fake an alien invasion, meaning that the powers that be, will actually be putting, holographic type of images up in the sky. So, and we know that's possible too. Yeah. And drones can do amazing things these days.
Yes. Have you seen that one? There's they do the fireworks, or there's this massive dragon, and it's thousands of drones. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Crazy.
It's incredible, and it could certainly make you think that you're being invaded. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, if they were going to invade, they would have done so a long time ago, and that they have been around us right from the beginning anyway. It's been a part of our society for a very long time. So, I mean, what this is saying to us is that people need to surrender to the information. So when we are looking at the bigger picture, the Nine of Wands is about taking things in and surrendering to it and just going, yeah, look, okay, I admit I might have been wrong. this is actually the truth.
Yeah.
Now, the justice system will play a huge part in this. So for those non-believers, I think they want the government to come out and say, yeah, we are definitely going to tell you that we have definitely got ETs around. Mind you, if you look back, there's been multiple government officials that have said this in the past.
Whistleblowers, yeah.
There was particularly a minister in Canada who did, like about 10 years ago, he stood up in their parliament and said, yep, but it's living down the road. So, you know, we're going to end up with a lot more of that coming to the surface. Wow, we've got the Wheel of Fortune as our future card. Big change is upon us. So I think that we have come to that point, Court. I'm going to say that I feel we've come to that point now where we're going to see disclosure the next 2 months.
Wow. Yep, so that would be end of year. Yep, early next year. Spot on.
Yeah, by February, you're going to be seeing a lot more talk of this. And it's not just one country, it will be worldwide. Coming to mind immediately is Spain.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have a big sighting in Spain, possibly Mallorca, but I feel there'll be a huge ship. That's really interesting.
Yes.
So I think there's going to be, Mexico is another one that's coming up. Look, you'll see so many of these guys around the place. And something else is that they want to come in peace and harmony. So here we have our final card of the Two of Cups, saying that they're coming here just to say, hey, we are around, we're your brothers and sisters in the universe, we are here to help. My gosh, if they could come in and clean up our oceans, if they could come in and help us with technology, the healing, if they could actually come in and just make their presence felt with all of the advanced technologies they have, what a world this would be.
Absolutely.
Literally overnight, everything would change. And it's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been like, beam me up, Scotty, since I was like this high. I was, so I'm all for it. But I do feel that we still have a lot to overcome in the general populace because people have been programmed, particularly by the Hollywood movies and things like that.
War of the Worlds, all of those movies.
All of those movies. Now, what we do know, particularly in Mexico, there's a lake there, and don't ask me to pronounce that one. It's like about 50 syllables.
Oh, okay.
It's really long. But there's a lake there where the locals often see UFOs or UAPs going underwater and coming out again. And so the sightings that has happened about this, it's been everywhere all over the world. They do tend to be underwater. Now, I think the reason for this is, again, it's easier for them to stay hidden in that way.
Like a safety, we're under,
And so, they can get along, do their business or whatever and then come out after dark. But the other thing there is that there are some, we believe, called aquafarians who might in the old days have been mistaken for like mermaids. And the mythology of mermaids has actually come from these ETs that live underwater. So it's a really interesting thing to look into, guys. If you want to look into that further, have a look at the aquafarians. And they have identified that the aquafarians actually get around in the cigar-shaped UFOs. But they're often called Tic Tacs, I think, from the shape of them. So that's another interesting little bit of information that you might want to look into.
And maybe you've seen one or something or went, oh.
Yes. Now, I have seen several in my life, as you know. I've seen several and we have seen some together and we do a retreat where we actually look for them.
Call them in and then,
call them in and see them. And so, spiritually speaking, the benevolent, lovely UFO beings, they are coming in to help with our enlightenment and our spiritual growth. And so it's quite safe to call them in.
Yes.
And when we are looking at this, it's like the connection that we have with them is unbelievable. If you are interested in this, I would suggest that you have a look at Dr. Stephen Greer's work. He's done some amazing work. And there's so many wonderful people out there who are advocating for disclosure now. He's one of them. But I firmly believe that in this next 12-month period, we're going to have a lot more information. Now, the card here that I've just pulled, and I'm going to pull one more, is patience. For those of us who are champing at the bit, ready, patience, because we are going to have the Sun card, which is reuniting reuniting souls. And what that means is we're going to be able to go back to origin, or the feeling of being able to know that soul. And I personally feel that we have all had incarnations on other planets, and so we may feel really associated with some of these beautiful beings that are coming through now. For those of you that do believe, I know that you'll probably really connect with what I just said. For those that are sitting on the fence, do your own research, have a look. But I do feel like we're heading for disclosure. 2 months.
That's really exciting. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alison. And thank you guys for joining us and writing in that beautiful message. It was a beautiful reading.
Excellent.
Be sure to comment down below, guys. We love hearing your thoughts, and like, share, and subscribe. We will see you next time.
Bye.